We expected to be spending all day today previewing that match, but there was a story that broke early that got everybody's attention. There was a report from England that Mauricio Pochettino had recently interviewed for the Brentford job. Jenny Taft is covering the U.S. team for us at this Gold Cup. She spoke to Pochettino. He denied it. Jenny did a report for us on the story. Let's take a listen to it right now.
Earlier today, I sat down with Mauricio Pochettino and asked him to confirm or deny the report that he had interviewed for the Brentford job during the Gold Cup. His answer was absolutely no, and he was careful to even want to address it with me because there is no truth to this report, even telling me that other clubs have reached out to him, respectfully, bigger clubs, and he will not take the call because that would be disrespectful to himself and disrespectful to the United States and the commitment he has made to lead this team at a World Cup. And I do think it's important to note that I've now been around Mauricio Pochettino for the last couple weeks, and he is really proud of the evolution this group has made from their first day to now, even saying at the press conference today that in football there are factors that you cannot control, but what we can control with this group, I feel like we're in a very good place to compete tomorrow against Costa Rica.
Okay. First things first, I'm glad that our Jenny Taft was able to get to Pochettino and put this to rest and to have him put the kibosh on this rumor that came out. I woke up this morning and I started to see it through my timeline. The good part about social media and the information age is that information is instantaneous and it can go out there. And people that in the past didn't have a platform or didn't have a microphone are able to have that now. And when it comes to news and breaking news, again, the instantaneous nature of it enables people to get that out there. The other thing, though, is that everybody's got this microphone, everybody's got this platform, and you have to parse through what is real, what is not real. And who knows, maybe this was just an honest mistake and a misinterpretation or any number of things. But ultimately, I think Mauricio Pochettino made it very, very clear that that is not something that happened, and more importantly, not something that he would ever do. And that makes me feel good. The fact that this is not true, because if it were true that the U.S. coach, a year out from the World Cup, was interviewing for a coaching position at other clubs or other national teams, I would come on and I would tell you he needs to resign now. And if he doesn't resign, you need to fire him now. For the specific reason that Mauricio Pochettino gave Jenny Taft. It's completely disrespectful, not to mention absolutely insane the way that I look at it. I don't deny, and I'm not under any illusion that Mauricio Pochettino doesn't have suitors out there. He's going to have lots of people that are going to come for him, and he understands that. Not only did he say that that is something that he would never do, but then he said something to the effect of, I have much bigger teams that are coming to ask me to do things than Brentford. And it was kind of a hilarious response as Brentford took the brunt of this reporting. But it's the information is out there and we have to deal with it. I hope that it was the best intentions when it comes to this site and this person that put this out there. Sometimes you get things wrong. You apologize and you move forward, and hopefully you learn your lesson to double and triple check, because with a few texts, I was able to get the information. Obviously, Jenny was able to go right to the man himself and, again, to deny it and to put this to rest.
So you 100% believe him?
Well, unless Mauricio Pochettino is lying or the Federation is lying. I mean, why? You don't believe it?
No, I do. But the fact that it seemed at all believable to me, though, is concerning. We all sort of have this impression that Pochettino is maybe not that thrilled with how things have gone so far, not happy with the players asking out this summer. So, I mean, that would be the only thing I would say. My immediate reaction when I read this wasn't like, oh my God, that's crazy that Pochettino would be looking for another job right now. It felt somewhat believable to me, which is concerning.
I agree with that. But again, if Mauricio Pochettino is in any way thinking of moving on, jumping ship, washing his hands of the situation because of the reality that has now become apparent to him, go now. Don't waste our time. Don't waste your time. We'll chalk it up to just one of those things, but don't lead us on. And I don't think he is. Again, it would infuriate me and it would sadden me if that is actually the case. And you want to talk about going, BS crazy? You would see yours truly go BS crazy if I found that was even a possibility.
All right, so Pochettino will be on the bench tomorrow when the U.S. faces Costa Rica. It's the 44th all-time meeting between the two countries, the 9th at the Gold Cup. The U.S. unbeaten in the previous 8, including the 2002 final. They beat Costa Rica 2-0. We've talked about it the last couple pods. Pochettino had some interesting lineup decisions, including in goal. What is your overall outlook for this match?
I don't think that he changes a lot, because I think it kind of sets itself given what we've seen in the tournament. We talked about Matt Freese and the potential of Matt Turner coming in after not playing at all in the group stage. Unless he came to Matt Freese and Matt Turner for that matter, I guess even to Zach Steffen before he wasn't available, and said, this is what's going to happen. One goalkeeper, in this case, it's going to be Matt Freese because Steffen was around. He's going to play in the group stage, and then we're going to switch over. That's a different story. I don't think that happened. Again, I don't have any information. So I'm thinking that Matt Freese continues on. And I think that's a smart approach because you still have to see what Matt Freese is made of. And I'm not sure we've gotten a really good assessment through the group stage. I know he made a mistake in a previous game. Goalkeepers make mistakes. I think the back four over the group stage kind of solidified itself with Freeman, Richards, Ream, and Arfston. We saw Berhalter and Luna sit out, but I think Pochettino and the group recognized that was relative to the yellow cards. So they can come back in. They're still on yellow cards, so they could miss the semifinal if the U.S. were to go through with Berhalter and Luna. Still think that they go back in. We saw Tyler Adams come back in. I can't see him going back to the bench when it comes to Tyler Adams. I think for the duration of the tournament, Tyler Adams is going to start and play. Patrick Agyemang, where else are you going to go? White hasn't shown anything. So I think that whether you like him or not, this is who we're riding right now. And I know people are divided out there. Malik Tillman in Penn. I think Diego Luna comes back in. And then you're talking about, the McGlynn's and the Johnnies and who else is there? Lucas and those types of players. So I think it's on the fringes. If there are changes, I don't think we're walking out tomorrow and seeing somebody that we've never seen. Like we saw with Mexico today.
Johnny evidently is a bit of a doubt, battling an ankle issue. Yeah, I agree with you. Tyler Adams will start. I'm curious to see if it's alongside Berhalter or De La Torre in the midfield. Everybody seems to think that front four has developed a pretty good understanding of McGlynn, Tillman, Luna, and Agyemang. I wonder if he preserves that or if he might make any changes there. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. Now, I don't think Costa Rica have a whole lot of advantages in this game tomorrow, but one position where they do have an advantage, and this would be the case whether Matt Turner or Matt Freese starts, is in goal with Keylor Navas, who I think got his mojo back in that last group game against Mexico. And I teased this earlier in the pod. I think Miguel Herrera is going to set up Costa Rica tomorrow in a back five. They're going to park the bus. They're going to waste time from the opening minute. They're going to do CONCACAF things, try to get under the U.S.'s skin. And I think they're playing for a 0-0 to get to penalties because he then knows if it's Keylor Navas versus Matt Freese in a shootout, I'm taking Keylor Navas any day of the week.
Yeah. I mean, that makes complete sense that they would do that. They probably would do that whether they had Keylor Navas or not, but it's a nice thing to have in there, whether it's the penalties or just in the course of the game.
Also, they're minus their star striker Ugalde suspension, so that even more maybe takes them in that direction of playing for the 0-0 because they don't think they have a player up front that can really hurt the U.S.
Yeah, and as we've seen this U.S. team evolve and grow, they're almost two portions of a tournament. You have the group stage, and then you have the knockout. And what you did in the group stage obviously matters, but there is a kind of a new chapter that happens. And obviously, the ramifications of losing are dramatic. And they need to look no further than today to recognize the new dynamic that we talked about in going directly to penalties. And the longer it goes for someone like Costa Rica, the better off and the better chance they have of going through. Because, like you said, I think that Costa Rica is going to absorb pressure, going to try to kill the game. Calvo and company are going to CONCACAF. By the way, Saudi Arabia tonight was full of CONCACAF, so it must have, they not only got the lay of the land, but whatever they were drinking here, they got plenty of CONCACAF in them because they really tried to CONCACAF Mexico tonight. So, yeah, I think that's absolutely the way that's going to play out. And so this U.S. team, whoever's in that starting lineup, is going to have to find a way to break them down either individually or spreading them out collectively.
I mentioned that it's the 44th all-time meeting between the two countries. I was crunching the numbers on it, and the U.S. has won 5 of the last 6 meetings since 2019, including a 3-0 friendly win this past January in Orlando. Ajiman among the scorers in that one. Prior to that, Costa Rica had a winning record against the U.S. I don't think younger U.S. fans realize there once upon a time in your day, playing away to Costa Rica was every bit as daunting as playing away to Mexico.
People ask me what the most difficult place ever to play was, and usually they expect me to say, the Azteca. And listen, the Azteca, when it was 100,000, and back in the day, Mexico would take us, and high noon, and the altitude, and the smog, by the way, which has gotten a whole lot better. So it's not as daunting anymore. But I would always tell them what was worse was going to Saprissa. Now, this is the old Saprissa Stadium, and it was insane. It was the proverbial Thunderdome experience. And they're right on top of you, and thousands of people there from the moment that you arrive, even 2 hours before the game. And they threw absolutely everything. And because of where the stands were, they were very, very close to you. So the pennies and the batteries and the piss and the, all that kind of stuff was right there. I loved every minute of it, but that was the most intimidating place to play. And I always tell people when they ask me, it was more intimidating than actually going to Azteca. But all of that was intimidating, but so was the team on the field. And this Costa Rica team is not even close to that. And as you mentioned, they're missing players because of yellow cards, because of injuries. And so this is ripe for the taking from a U.S. perspective. And I hope that they will have watched the games today and they recognize that come out, take what's given to you in terms of the possession, put them under pressure, and then you got to find a way to be ruthless. And Keylor Navas or not, even the best goalkeepers in the world, if you move players around the field, if you beat people on the dribble, if you put in dangerous set pieces, you're going to score goals.
You like that clip? Well, my State of the Union podcast drops twice a week right here on my very own YouTube page. The only way to stay up to date is to hit that subscribe button down below. Size the day, and see you soon.